stunning waterfalls, and many that visitors from around the world go and see. We have Seven Sisters, we have Concord, and you can swim in all of them, and they're all spotlessly clean. Pretty cold, though, of course, but spotlessly clean.
It might be some good respite if the heat's gone into the 30s.
Absolutely, because they are, of course, all within the more forested areas. Great fun for everyone.
What's the food like?
Well, not only do we consider ourselves the spice isle of the Caribbean, but I think also we consider ourselves the gourmet island of the Caribbean. In terms of imports, we have a Gary Rhodes restaurant, but everything within Grenada, in terms of food, whether it's street food or restaurant food, or, you get your hotel or you go to a guest house and you get them to do your picnic, it's going to be full of the tastes of wonderful fresh fish, because we're in the Caribbean, and, from lobster to the catch of the day, whether it's mahi-mahi or whatever you have on the fish side, to really wonderful spiced cuisine because of the nutmeg, the cinnamon, the vanilla, and of course we mustn't forget that, a lot of people in the Caribbean like their spices pretty damn hot. So, some dishes are hot, some dishes are just a subtle flavour. But I should also mention that I believe we make some of the best ice cream in the world, and our nutmeg ice cream is just a phenomenon, and everyone has their own little recipe. But not only that, and something that a lot of people don't know, is that Grenada grows amazing cocoa beans, and we have 3 different chocolate companies on the island, and we can track our chocolate from tree to bar. So amazingly beautiful, high quality, award-winning chocolate, which does very, very well when people want to take home little prezzies.
My lunch break seems so far away now. You've mentioned the chocolate. Is there any particular flavour that you really like?
Well, one of our chocolate companies has just brought out a ginger flavour, and I think that is to die for. It's really gorgeous, very high quality. Nearly all of our chocolate is vegan, so it's really chocolate of the highest standard of cocoa, and no chocolate on Grenada at the moment is produced with less than 60% cocoa from the islands.
I'm definitely going to come back weighing more than when I got there.
Then we have salt, and we have nutmeg, and we have nibs. Yeah, I could go on, and I'll just make your mouth water even more.
You can keep up to date with travel news and leave me a message at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. We're going to need to wash all that food and chocolate down. Do you have a national drink?
Well, I suppose that's the good old Grenadian rum punch. And what is special about Grenada's rum punch and Grenada's rum is the fact that we tend to put nutmeg on our rum punch. But we have some wonderful rum distilleries. One of the rum distilleries is, in fact, still mashing the sugarcane with a water wheel that was built in Newcastle nearly 150 years ago. So that's Newcastle on time. We're very traditional in terms of our rum production on the island, but we also make really good quality 10-year aged rums that are almost like cognac that you can sip over ice cubes, or we make some of this really fiery stuff that is ridiculously strong, and you're not allowed to bring on the plane.
So I love the tradition a bit, the 150-year-old wheel. I always love tradition when I go to the Caribbean.
Absolutely. Well, Grenada is traditional.
Yeah. According to ABTA, when they had their conference a couple of weeks ago, people are going away more often but for shorter. So if somebody only has a week in Grenada, what should they see and do?
Well, but reminding you that it's only the size of the Isle of Wight, Whilst we would like people to stay for 10 days or 2 weeks because you get into the island way of life, it is actually possible to do literally everything pushed into a week. Nothing is more than an hour, if that, from St. George's and where the hotels are. So, you can go trekking in the rainforest, you go to the waterfalls, you lie on your beach, you go out and do a sunset cruise. You can go, and this is really important to us, you can go to the nutmeg processing plant in Guave and actually see the ladies continuing to grade the nutmegs by hand. There really is a limitless things that can be done for the more active. There is a something called a hash that happens every Saturday afternoon. It's just a group of friends, so no health and safety involved here. Just a group of friends that get together, nearly up to 200 of them every week, and they pop off and they walk around their island and they learn about their island. But it is not for the faint-hearted or for those that are unfit. We also have wonderful river tubing, which is, where you sit in an inner tube and you go bumping down one of the rivers on the island. You can walk around the crater lakes. You can do yoga with chocolate. You can dive. We're a very serious diving destination. Snorkeling. We have the world's first underwater sculpture park, which are life-size models of human beings, and more recently some Indian style statues that have been put under the water, and that's either a diving or a snorkeling trip for people who come and find our lovely island.
So I'm just trying to come up with a way where I can combine diving and eating chocolate at the same time.
Well, I tell you what you can do. You can combine diving and getting married, because it is actually possible to get married under the water in Grenada. And instead of saying I do, you scrawl it on a slate.
Then nobody would have seen my tears. That would have been so much better. Do you have any big annual events?
What do we have? We have, since you've mentioned chocolate, we have an amazing week-long cocoa festival, and the cocoa festival takes place in May, and it's really getting to know cocoa and the chocolate, and you do you do chocolate yoga, and you go out and work for a day with a cocoa farmer. So lots of things, and of course you eat it, and you learn how to use it as a face mask and how to cook with it. That's one of the fun things. We have a smallish music festival in April, but we have really, really high quality people attending that. We have the wonderful Grenada Carnival, which takes place in August, and lots of Grenadians living in the UK or in North America actually go home for that. So that's kind of book early to avoid disappointment. And we have sailing festivals in the end of January. So there's pretty much something that for everyone to enjoy.
What about Christmas? It's not far away now. How's that celebrated?
Oh, well, the hotels go crazy, and a lot of the hotels put up fake snow and actually put up Christmas trees, and very, very seriously celebrated on Grenada. Very, very seriously celebrated.
Fake snow? So you're saying there's no real snow? That's so disappointing.
Somehow we're not going to get real snow in Grenada anytime soon.
I guess you're going to have a big New Year's Eve party as well.
Well, the hotels, what we find is the bars, the clubs, the hotels, they each put on something, and then you kind of pay your money and you take your choice. But there's usually a good party going on New Year's Eve in Grenada.
You've covered an awful lot of stuff in a short time, so how can we find out more about the island and just recap what you've gone through?
I think the best way to find out more information on Grenada is to go onto our excellent website, which is puregrenada.com. And Pure Grenada is, in fact, our tourism brand, and it sums up everything there is to sum up about the islands.
Okay, thanks, Sharon. Thank you for your time.
Okay, pleasure.
Checking it out before you check in. on the John Guinn Travel Show on ukhealthradio.com. My next guest this week is Miles Porter, who's the head of activities at Cycling for Softies. Yes, the company does what it says on the tin. We're going to start off by talking about cycling holidays in general terms, and then we're going to find out about what the sort of product that Cycling for Softies has to offer. So let's get straight into it and just have a general chat about cycling holidays in general.
Good question. We're definitely seeing an increase in the number of people going on our cycling holidays. And I think there's a number of reasons for this. Certainly people are looking for alternative types of holidays that we find. Certainly more active holidays compared to sitting on a beach, for example. So our cycling trips are great for fitness, a really good way to get away from it all and reduce stress levels. Also provides more of an authentic way to see new areas of Europe. And most of the routes are places where cars can't go. So you can really explore nature and enjoy good weather as well. Also, I think the attraction is that it's a good way for people to bond. So particularly between friends and family, they really sort of come close together when cycling. And it's also a sense of achievement people find. So if they complete a day or when they complete their holiday, there's a certain sense of satisfaction in doing that. And of course, they get to stay in some fantastic hotels and sample some amazing food and drink. So plenty of attractions there.
I know what you mean about getting a better experience. I used to go touring on my motorbike and my wife used to think, well, she could smell everything and it was much better than being in a coach or a car. Of course, a motorbike's a little bit quicker, but it's a similar sort of experience. But isn't it awkward cycling and carrying everything with you?
It can be, but luckily with our tours, we actually transfer the guest luggage between the hotels. Mm-hmm. So we provide bikes to each of our guests and they come fitted with a pannier bag. So it's basically a bag that attaches to a rack that's fixed at the back of the bike. So you can take your essentials and also perhaps a picnic, but you don't have to carry your week's luggage with you.
You said about fitness, and I struggle getting up the stairs at the moment. How fit do you need to be on a cycling trip?
So basically, they're suitable for anyone who's reasonably healthy. We've had guests in the past year, anything from the age of 4 up to people in their 80s. Which is absolutely amazing. We have quite a range of different tours and holidays, so we've got everything from very easy cycling, short distances, no hills, through to more moderate trips. And something we introduced last year was e-bikes or electric bikes. So they're basically, that technology has developed quite a lot in the past few years. And it's they're basically power-assisted electric bikes. So people are not really comfortable with their fitness levels, not quite sure if they can tackle some of the slightly longer distances, then we definitely recommend an e-bike. So it's suitable for virtually everyone.
What's the ideal sort of bike to have, apart from the e-bike, to do a tour? Is it one of these weird ones with the very narrow wheels, or is it a mountain bike, or is it somewhere in between?
Yeah, we supply what we call a touring bike, or a more commonly known as a hybrid bike. So they're basically top-of-the-range bikes, and they're designed for the type of terrain you're going to encounter on one of these sort of leisure cycling holidays. So they're good on roads, good on cycle paths. So they're not kind of built for racing or kind of going down mountains. So they're good for, the sort of standard tours. And they're very lightweight as well. And they've got 24 gears. So, perfect for that sort of holiday. And we offer men's and ladies' frames as well in a range of different sizes. So it doesn't really matter how tall or short you are. We've got a bike for you.
24 gears sounds quite complicated. I was a postman about 30 years ago, and they only had one gear, and it was scientifically proven to be useless in any situation. So I guess 24 gears makes life a little bit easier. Isn't there a high risk of being ended up stranded somewhere because of a mechanical failure? My post office bikes, the pedals used to snap off, and I cracked the handlebar once.
Hopefully not. I mean, our bikes are fully serviced. So before we do a bike fit, our reps will make sure that they're in good working order. So it's quite unlikely you'd have anything too serious. We do provide puncture repair kits, and we instruct people on how to use them. Otherwise, if they do encounter a sort of more serious issue, then our reps are on call to come help the guests out.
How many miles on average are covered each day?
On average, it's between 15 and 20 miles per day. So for most people, it takes around 2 to 3 hours. So you have plenty of opportunities to stop, look at the local